Okay. Wow. There we are. We are live. Aloha, everyone. And I think I even have like 30 seconds to spare. This was to make up for the other week when I think I was a whole like minute and a half late. I know. You all know me. I have to be there 15 minutes early or I'm late, right? That's how we grew up. Well, welcome to the Caregiver Show. Aloha. I am your host, Savvy Makaluna, the founder of Gimme a Break. Gimme a Break's a nonprofit organization that cares for caregivers just like you. And we're here to bring back the joy of caregiving. So each week we help caregivers to survive. Yes, you all know I talk about survival and how important that is for caregivers because you're so at risk. And I know I throw that 50% statistic out there all the time, and I'm going to keep throwing it out there until, of course, it goes down. And I'll do some research over the next season and make sure that that number maybe is going down a little bit. However, I want to throw out the 70% statistic today because that 70% are those who are our kupuna, our seniors. They're the ones that are over the age of 70 and you are caring for someone. You are so high at risk. You are 70% at risk of passing before the one that you care for. And that's not a happy thing. That's not a good thing. And you're doing it because we're so wonderful as caregivers. We give so much of ourselves that we forget to take care of ourselves. And we think, I can't just put him in a home. I can't just, leave her to somebody else. I can't just have somebody come in. I have to do it all myself. And please find a way. Bring your family in, have them help out, get the care that they need because they could reach a level of care that you can no longer provide. And then you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting them as well. And I had to go through that with my mom. We've talked about that before in other shows. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's a really hard and tough decision that everyone has to make on their own. But please value your health and your self-care and wellness. It's so important because if something happens to you, who's going to take care of them? And this is the month of love. See, I've got my red shirt on. I got my little heart earrings. I don't know if you can see them or not. I'm trying to just fill you with love all month long. This is the love month. This is the month that we want to love ourselves. We want to give love as so much that we do anyway, but we want to give some back to ourselves, to us as caregivers so that we can survive. And to get more information about that, just go onto our website, gab808.org for more information. And of course, you can fill out a caregiver support form there and get some support from us, and we'll help you and guide you and direct you to some of the resources that you may need, because I know you're tired and I know you're frustrated and I know you're battling with guilt. So deep breaths. You're not alone. We're here. And you can come to any of our support sessions. They're every week online, free, no charge, super convenient. Join us at 8 p.m. Every Tuesday evening. Every caregiver, you need these sessions. You really do, because it's not just a group of us that, it's a wonderful safe space. Yes. It's not just a group of caregivers who are, here to whine and moan about our lot in life. It isn't. We are a bunch of caregivers just like you, but it's a positive space. It's a space where, yes, you can vent if you need to, but I always put some education in there. And we just completed our caregiver survival kit section. It was a whole 10-part session where we educated ourselves what we needed to survive. And we're going to go into a whole new session. I think it's an 8-part or 10-part series again every week, talking about self-care and wellness. So get in on that, because not only do you get to hook up with a community of great caregivers just like you, but you survive and you get educated. So, wow, that's like a triple punch right there. Boom, 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 get you going, okay? And that's a lot of love. I'm going to have to say that. You're going to get sick of it. I know. I'm sorry. All right. So with all of that love all around and, all of these wonderful things that are happening, speaking of caregivers like you, joining me today is the owner and founder of Wellness Spoiled. She is a holistic health and lifestyle coach and the author of the book, His Body, My Amputation, and also one of the writers in our Giver's Guides magazine, where each month she helps caregivers to practice wellness in such practical and doable ways. Please welcome my co-host today, Danette Penrod. Aloha, Danette. How are you? I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for sharing this moment with me today. I'm really excited to have you and to have your expertise. So,
absolutely. Yes. And I will just say, it's his body, our amputation.
That's right. And I realized it right after I said it, and I said, doggone it, I typoed it, but I know the title. So thank you for the correction.
Absolutely.
That was the whole point, right? Because it wasn't something that he went through alone. You went through it together.
Right.
And that's
he lost the physical limb, but it was also, me going through it at the same time. So yes. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that, because as caregivers, we do get so involved in that, and we are part of it. You don't just amputate a part of your body, it amputates part of your relationship, it amputates part of your lifestyle, everything. And so everything's intertwined in that. But great book, you guys. We'll talk about that more as well. But if you'd like to later in the show. But yes, I'm excited to have you here. And let me just do a couple more props, because the Caring Caregiver Show is brought to you by Givers Guides. I spoke about how she writes an article for Givers Guides magazine. Thank you, by the way. Every month it comes up with an amazing article that I just love. And Givers Guides is your caregivers' guides to caregiving. It's written exclusively for caregivers, by caregivers like Danette and myself, and from a caregiver's point of view. So check it out. Here's a little sneaky peek of this month's issue. There, I'll do that. Oops, I did the wrong one. There we go. And this month's issue, of course, is all about that love. I know I did it again. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. And it is all about emotional wellness and that love, that emotion, having self-love. And there's even a great article. Let me just switch to this one. There's a great article in there that Danette wrote, and she wrote 6 ways to self-care for Valentine's Day. So tell us a little bit about that article and what inspired you. Well, I mean, we don't, I think, take enough time for ourselves, and it's so easy to do and yet hard to do at the same time. So I just try to give very practical, easy things that you guys could and should be doing for yourselves. And I'll just give you just a highlight of one that I think is super easy and hard at the same time, which is taking a break from digital. So I know a lot of us live on our phones, and so I would just highly recommend about 20 minutes before you go to bed, just set that puppy down and be done with it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's not just that whole stimulation from social media in itself or being on your devices, but even the light. That light that comes from the phone can actually stimulate your brain to be awake. So I love that. That is a great tip, and more tips like that in our Givers Guides magazine. So thank you for that. Well, good. With that, woo. And also please remember that all profits go to Give Me a Break. So you're helping to care for caregivers. And let's get on with the show. And I want to welcome for our wonderful meditative moment. And I want to welcome, and I'm going to put you back in just a minute. We'll be right there with you again, Danette, as we welcome. There you are, Sharon, and have you here. Those of you who may not remember, Sharon is with Radiant Emotional Healing, and she joins us, and she's really all about balancing your mind, body, and spirit. And so I'm so excited. I really love what you discussed last week too about the water. And I've had a bunch of caregivers come to me and tell me they look at drinking water in a whole different way now. And it becomes this positive experience. And we talked about it even at our session. So thank you for sharing that. I'm excited to see what you're going to share today, and I'm going to give the stage to you. Great.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. So today we're going to be diving into something I personally think is just as essential as brushing your teeth or taking a shower, but for your energy field. And this is called energy hygiene. It's all about clearing emotional, mental, and energetic clutter so that you can feel balanced, more grounded, and at peace. So your energy field, it extends about as far as you can stretch your arms out. It's pretty big. And it's an invisible force that surrounds you. It permeates your body. It's constantly interacting with the world. And just like physical clutter can create chaos in our spaces and also chaos in our minds, stagnant energy in your energy field can also leave you feeling drained, overwhelmed, and feeling stuck. So throughout the day, we interact with people, right? We experience a range of emotions and we move through various environments. And this can leave us absorbing stress, negativity, and even other people's energy without even realizing it. So, some of you may have experienced this. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly just felt really heavy? Or maybe you have a conversation that just has left you feeling really drained and exhausted. Well, that's because we're constantly exchanging energy with our surroundings. And just like we wouldn't go days without showering, we shouldn't let stagnant energy build up in that way either. So, energy hygiene helps us clear this energetic buildup, just like washing away dirt from your body. When we neglect energy hygiene, we may experience unexplained exhaustion or energy drain. We can also experience emotional overwhelm, sometimes carrying emotions that aren't even ours, and we can feel scattered, anxious, and really disconnected. So by practicing energy hygiene, we can release this emotional clutter. We can actually also reset our nervous system, strengthen our energetic boundaries, and help us move through life in just a more peaceful, positive way with greater clarity and more resilience. So I'd like to walk you through a simple but powerful grounding release to clear stagnant energy and feel more rooted in the present moment. And this is really helpful, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed, foggy, or imbalanced in any way. So if you're standing, that's perfectly fine. But if you can sit, either way, just find your feet planted firmly on the ground and keep your knees soft, your shoulders relaxed, and place your hands in your lap if you are sitting. If you're standing, you can just rest your hands at your side. Close your eyes. Relax the space between your eyebrows, unclench your jaw, and take a nice deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. And slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing any tension. And with each inhale, I want you to imagine your breath sinking down into your feet, connecting deeply with the earth beneath you. Envision any stress, tension, or heavy emotions like dark, dense energy gathering at the soles of your feet. Now, with each slow exhale, imagine this energy flowing down into the earth like roots, releasing stagnant energy into the soil. See the earth absorbing and transforming this energy into neutral, balanced energy. Now visualize a warm golden light rising from the earth, gently traveling up through your feet and legs into your entire body, and feel this energy filling you with stability, calm, and renewed strength, dissolving any lingering heaviness. As this energy expands, see it forming a protective, radiant bubble around you, keeping your energy clear, strong, and grounded throughout the day. Now take a deep inhale and fill your heart with this lightness and peace. Exhale with a deep sigh. Roll your shoulders back. And when you're ready, open up your eyes, feeling hopefully lighter, more refreshed, and more supported. And that's it. It can just take a few minutes of grounding, and this can release energy that's not yours. It can help reset your nervous system and just bring you back to center. And you can do this anytime you feel off or anxious, or you feel like you've been carrying too much. And if this resonates with you, I have something special that's coming up on Friday. I'm hosting a free masterclass on energy hygiene. It's this Friday at 12 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, and it's going to be on Zoom, and I'll be diving deeper into powerful techniques to protect, cleanse, and strengthen your energy field. And you'll learn to clear energetic blocks and maintain a high vibe state throughout your day. I know this is on Valentine's Day, so it's going to be about an hour long, and it will give you the opportunity to learn some new skills for yourself that you can really use to help protect your energy and really just take on a more balanced and clear state from this point forward. Hopefully you can incorporate some of these tools into your day. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you remember that you have the power to shift your energy anytime you need. It's really simple.
Thank you so much. Mahalo from the heart. Sharon, that was awesome. I don't know about you, Danette, but I feel ready. I feel really bad for the soil beneath me. because that was just a lot of release. And Sharon, thank you so much for sharing that event as well. Could you please in the chat type some information in there that I can also put on to our social media sites of how they can contact you, or do they just call the number on the screen?
Yeah, they can text me, they can email me. Text will get a response faster, but yeah, feel free to just send me a text if you're interested, and I'll send over a Zoom link.
Great. So that number, you guys, is 312-810-0361. 312-810-0361. Text Sharon and get in on that. What a great opportunity to share even more. So thank you so much for being here, for sharing. We're excited about next week. Mahalo.
Bye, mahalo.
Wow.
Wow. Yes.
Right?
Holy smokes.
I love it. And I don't know about you, but I feel really like warm because I know that my energy is just kind of recharged right now. So if I get a little out of hand, you'll have to coach me back down. That was amazing. And I love these moments. So thank you for that. And thanks again, Sharon. And so let's get on with our guest for today. Super excited about our guest. He is the founder and president of Alzheimer's Caregiving and the Caregivers. And what an amazing story. I can't wait to share this with you. So let's bring him on. Aloha, Tony. Tony Verselli, welcome.
Hi, Danette. Aloha.
Hello.
Thank you very much. I mean, you folks are, and Sharon, you're all doing wonderful things to make the saying on top of your page come true, which is Alzheimer's Caregivers, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And we need each other more and more each day. And I just appreciate all that you're doing. And thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit more of our story and hopefully help others.
Yes. And in fact, why don't you just share your caregiving story with our caregivers, Tony?
Well, sure. Well, first of all, I'm no stranger to the disease, and that my mother had Alzheimer's for 14 years. During that time, I wasn't the primary caregiver because my brothers are kind of spread across the country. And so we decided to do 24/7 care in one of my older brother's home and visit as often as we could as well. But we just felt that was important to keep our mother home. And I realized during that time how much of an impact it had, especially on my father, who was really healthy, a couple of years older than my mother, but he just couldn't understand why he couldn't just get her to snap out of it. And he literally would sit by her side hours at a time, trying all kinds of things. And even though we explained it to him all the time, he just felt like he just couldn't give up, right? So had a big toll on him. And then little did I know that years later, my wife, Dana, was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's in the fall of 2018. So it's now been 6+ years. She's between the middle and late stages. It's probably been 4 years since she's been able to do any activity of daily life herself. And just like we did with my mom, our children and I decided, along with her family, that we would try to do the caregiving ourselves. Here the family has a small ranch up here on the Big Island, and that we felt it was a better environment since Dana loved the outdoors and animals and gardening and crafts and all types of things. And she had a successful business career too, and loved to cook and you name it. So all those things, of course, went away, for us fairly quickly. So before we could even get our arms around it, she was already beyond daily life issues. So part of our impetus to creating our own nonprofit, Alzheimer's Caregiving and the Caregivers, was that as I looked throughout the web and looking for information to try to find different things that could help us, I realized that there was so much information that it was like having no information, because you couldn't really get to what you needed at that time. and you didn't have hours at a time to focus on something.
Yeah. You had to filter through everything because
You had to get through
it's like
everything,
garble.
and you didn't know what was a curated resource and what wasn't, and so on. So we decided, okay, we're going to create our own nonprofit. It's going to focus on caregivers, and it's going to help them to manage caregiving. It's going to help them to find ways of engaging and amusing and keeping their loved one, in the game, so to speak, and in life. There's going to be a section dealing with educating and informing caregivers. That's where more of the medical research and Alzheimer's Association, the latest and greatest medicines and nutrition and so on and so forth would be found. And the fourth section would be about the comfort, hope, and support for the caregivers themselves and the importance of them both physically and mentally taking care of themselves. And really kind of pulling together things that you're doing, each and every week and day in, day out, really, and all of you are doing. And that is, how do we find, first of all, we curate the resources. We make sure they're organized in these 4 straightforward sections. We created video segments. We're up to 37 of them now. We air them here in Hawaii throughout Hawaii News Now and on High Now Daily. We have our own YouTube channel. Olelo has been airing them here in Oahu. We're now working with the other community networks on the neighbor islands to get all these segments aired there. Have our own YouTube channel with all of the segments available.
Yeah.
These are segments that are not only, interview style with me, but we're bringing other people with expertise in to help. For example, 2 of the segments that are upcoming are both focused on physical therapy. One is a physical therapist helping the caregivers learn how to move their loved one.
Yeah.
And the other segment is going to be helping the caregivers exercise and stretch and do all the things to help strengthen their own physical self so they in turn can do more with their loved one. And that's from, unfortunately, firsthand, knowledge. In May, my wife was slipping out of the bed, and I went to grab her and, messed up my back. I'm now looking into the least invasive back surgery here in a few months to try to help get better. And fortunately, our children and others are helping us with moving my wife around. And
I have to just jump in on that because I'm right there with you. Did the same thing. Mom in and out of a wheelchair throughout my back. And, I know a lot of caregivers are going through this. So what that service that you're providing by educating is so valuable. And then having it on YouTube, being able for a caregiver to just go at any time and watch it when they can, on their phone and put in an earbud and listen to it even. Don't even have to see it physically if you can.
But make sure the segments are only 3 to 5 minutes in length.
Right.
So that
awesome.
It's really easy. And we hope, obviously, that the caregivers will watch them over and over again as needed. And again, even the videos are organized in the same 4, curated resource, sections. And we're going to keep adding to it, all the time.
And this is this is really the heart of what we're doing. We're bringing these resources to caregivers because, we need to, and caregivers, you need this, right? Or you're going to end up injured. Something's going to happen, and we're not paying attention. And I really love that you're doing one about lifting and proper movement because I wish I had that. I wish I'd had that.
And we're also doing others that are focused on the products, the tools, the tips, techniques of actually managing caregiving. And like I said, one section is all about how do you keep your loved one amused and involved and stimulated? Because, they are there. If they could have a sticker on them saying, I am here, that's what we hope will occur. And we're actually working with the Hawaii Dementia Initiative across the state to actually create stickers for you to use and bringing your loved one out into the community. And also pins and stickers for those that are helping to train caregivers and those in the community who want to welcome you and your loved one into their establishment, so that you could actually have some semblance of daily life. So everything you're doing, Danette and Sharon, I mean, it's all geared to the same thing, and that is, how do we actually have the life that our loved one is living actually be a life and actually allow them to live, and at the same time not find ourselves going down a deep emotional
Abyss.
Which we all know, it's easier said than done. We all know
Yes.
we've all been there, and I know we get angry at ourselves for getting upset and getting frustrated and so on.
But the guilt is real. The guilt is real, right?
Guilt is real for sure, and we have to ensure that nobody's doing this by themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gosh, I want to go back to just that movement because, as everyone who's been watching the show is aware, I had to place my mother now into a licensed care home, and it involved a move. And there was some movement that had to happen, and of course, everyone did everything they could, but my mother got bruised. And it took a while for it to heal, but it's healed and it's fine. But you don't realize that in your heart. You just think, oh, I was being so careful. I mean, something like that can affect us as caregivers so deeply too, right? We become bruised inside, and we think, well, how could I have known better? So being able to watch a 3 or 5 minute video on that is like amazing. I mean, Danette, when you had your husband, obviously you had to. Good God, how did you move him? he's a big guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I know
we got creative.
Hard. Well, because as you know, because there's this disconnect between the brain and all parts of the body. For example, so my wife can't walk on her own. You have to do everything in terms of getting her up and down out of the bed, or the chair, off the toilet, so on and so forth. And we're doing a bunch of things physically to the environment to make those things easier. But still, there is physicality involved, and it's like dead weight. I mean, they just don't move with you. So it's really difficult. And even though I weigh a lot more than she does, she's still very healthy. And that weight, that dead weight, is just hard to move. Yes. And we could easily get hurt. And then that, changes the whole dynamic of all the other aspects of caregiving that you're providing, right?
Yes.
So, and we're going to create other segments that focus on some of the physical things that, if you can afford to do it, that you can do in your home environment. To make things easier on the caregiving side. And not everybody can do those things. And we tried to find the least expensive way in which we can carry those out in terms of physical environment, the taller, toilets with the Toto washlet on the top, the electric bed that can lift, the recliner chair that can lift you straight up, all these things aid and help, right? So every tip and technique and tool that we can share with each other, the
helps.
better.
All the better, yes. And I certainly appreciate you coming on to share that today. We're running low on time here, so last thoughts from you, Tony.
Well, I think we all need to keep doing what we are doing, find ways of providing, like all the great things that you're doing, Savvy, and all the resources that you've been sharing over a long period of time. They are helpful. They are beneficial. We know we're helping a lot of people out there, even though we may not hear from a lot of people, but we can't give up. Just like we can't give up on the caregiving, we can't give up on trying to help other caregivers. And let's keep that, mantra of, caregivers are not alone. We need to keep finding ways of providing messages of hope to the caregivers and reminding them that you know you may only be one person in the world, as one of the people said, but to one person, you are the whole world.
Yeah.
You are there for them. Don't give up, no matter how difficult it is, and you're doing God's work, and let's just keep trying.
Oh, mahalo. I love your positivity and I love everything that you shared. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, and to all caregivers and continuing to do what you do. Really appreciate your time. And please, it is the love month. I had to do it again. Please give a big hug and a kiss from all of us to your wife and Ohana as well. So thank you so much,
Abby.
Tony.
Thank you, Danette. Aloha, everyone.
Thank you, Tony.
All right. Goodbye. Wow. Yeah. So much positivity. That was amazing. Mahalo, Tony, for sharing with us, and really for everything that you do for caregivers. And again, that's Alzheimer's Caregiving and the Caregiver. And on screen, you'll be able to see the website. But just remember, Alts Caregiving. So like Alzheimer's, the ALZ. caregiving.org. Okay, you guys can go and you can go onto the website, check it out, because it's really easy to navigate that site too, by the way. Great job, Tony. And you guys can find all of caregivers. You can find all the resources you need there to get you going through the day. And I love the videos and what you've done for that visual connection as well as your heart. So thank you for that.
I can't wait to dig into it.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Check it out. I checked it out as soon as I met Tony the first time. I remember, I think he was on one of the meetings I was on, and I was like, oh, I got to get this guy on the show. I got to meet him. We got to work together forever. And so thank you for that and for your inspiration. So here I've got Danette now, and this is your time, boy. I don't know. Let's talk about you. I know that you've gone through some changes too, and I know that you I know you still do doTERRA, and I loved your recipes in the past, and so did our caregivers, and how you would help us to create things that were great for our wellness. But you've really now moved into kind of a different space. So let's talk about that.
I have, my heart is all over the board, so I kind of tend to drift in and out, but they're all commingled.
Yes.
So, I mean, my self-care journey started back when my husband had an amputation. And so we had developed some holistic modalities to help support him through that. So for skincare, wound care, phantom pain, things like that. And then when COVID happened and we were all online, things felt, for lack of a better word, it seemed a little inauthentic for me. Mm-hmm. And so really what I ended up doing was leaning into the caregiver space. Like, who am I? And this is who I am. And so then I started realizing that my self-care had gone out the window. Yeah. So I started refocusing a little bit less on amputees specifically, but more on the caregiver themselves, and how can we help drop that statistic, right, the number that we can pass before the person that we're giving care for. So, and then that has since led me into, which so beautifully works with what I do. Sorry, son home from school.
Oh, hey, hi. Come on the
show. Of course he would walk in right at the moment.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, that's caregiving, right? We live in those moments. Exactly right. It is. It's exactly what caregiving is. And I love that it happened on the show.
So I became a certified stretch practitioner. And I started my own business. I worked for a company that I got certified through for about 6 months. And then I decided I thought I could do a better job on my own. And I paired my love of essential oils and natural solutions with stretching. And I created what I call Aroma Stretch. And so it is that practitioner-assisted stretching. session, but I incorporate essential oils and light massage. So oddly enough, or ironically enough, I have been stretching a 58-year-old that has dementia for 8 months or so. And they have recently said that she and I have such a good rapport together that they have asked me to be a part-time caregiver for her. Wow. So I just started that a couple weeks ago, where twice a week for 4 hours at a time, I'm helping to relieve the family so that they can get some much needed work done and things like that.
Yes, that's amazing.
So I'm just saying, like, everything is intertwined. And I think that God puts on our heart the things that he enables us to do these things.
Yeah.
So even though we struggle and we go through these lows and, we preach at you, Savvy's preaching at you to take care of yourself.
I am.
It's so true, though. Like, you really do need to realize that you cannot be there for somebody else if you are not taking care of yourself. So I just want to help Savvy preach that.
And I think the whole thing too is that when we start to get so dark into that place of caregiving where we isolate, we get closed-hearted. Mm-hmm. And really, this is just about opening your heart back up again. And even if you have to do it in little windows, that's fine. But be open-hearted again. Trust that it's okay for you to have self-love, that you can still love others as well, and that you can still survive as you did and were and can be outside of this isolated caregiving. There's still hope. There's still this golden light, like Sharon talked about. There's a lot out there that can come to you and that you can still do, but don't go to the dark place, right? Come out here, come out into the light with all the other caregivers, connect with your community, and all these wonderful things are here. So
I think it is about that connection too, because I don't know about you, but I have that fixer mentality. And I want to make things better. And I'm really having to reassess that with this new role and realize I can't fix this, but I can make it better for the family, and I can be a great companion for the woman that I'm giving care for. And I can love on her and support her. Meanwhile, what I'm really doing is supporting the family. Yeah. So I think it's super important, though, that be immersed in the resources that you have and the connections that you have with other caregivers who can relate to you.
I absolutely agree. And, the other thing too is that with fixer mentality, we go into solo fixer. And we feel like we have to fix everything. We have to do everything. And that's that control issue, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a fixer, right? Tinkerbell's a fixer. She's a Tinkerbell's wonderful.
I'll take her magic.
Yes, she's got magic. But it's all about becoming a community and having a stronger community. And everybody can use that skill to fix the situation. And that's where I think as caregivers, we isolate and don't connect with community. And connecting with community is everything. It's everything. And that's why we have the show. And that's why what Tony does and what you do is for us to all connect. And we're connected, in 3 different locations of the world right now, right? The Big Island of Oahu, and there where you are, and where you are where are you? You didn't tell everybody. We have to tell everybody.
I'm in Colorado.
And you're in Colorado, right? See, so we're connecting everywhere. And by the way, what degree was it right now?
11.
She said that before we went on air. It was like, I'm in Colorado, it's 11 degrees. And so we're like, yeah, that's kind of like this low 60s for us here in Hawaii. We get out down jackets and, anyway. So yes, but we're connecting all over the world, and that there are caregivers everywhere, and that we're really a huge community. and we have to be there for one another, and we have to allow each other in. So opening that heart, I think, is where it really starts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But what a great share. Thank you for that. And thank you for everything you do. And what an exciting adventure you're in your life right now. You look great. You've lost a lot of weight.
I have. Thank you
Yes,
for
you look
noticing.
fantastic. I know, but it's not like, oh, you look skinny like a model skinny. You look healthier. And I think that's the key, right? As caregivers, that healthy glow comes back to us. And so letting your heart open and letting people in sometimes is a great way to allow yourself to heal and get that healthy glow back, you guys. So what a wonderful thing. And I love the idea of aroma stretch too. I don't want to skip over that, because I think that I know that, and I haven't had a lot of massages in my life, but when you have a massage, you know, that if there's a scent and a smell, that's such a great thing. But your knowledge of what all those different scents can do combined, and your recipes, I mean, the whole aroma stretch experience for you must be a whole different level of OMG. I mean, I wish I'm coming to Colorado. That's it. I'm booking my flight. I'm going to tell you this funny story too while we're talking about it. We're going to move on in just a second, but I was just texting with a friend of mine who lives in California last night, and she's like sending me this thing about land for sale in Colorado, and it's like 5 acres for $4,000. And she's like, what do you think? And I go, well, the population of 879, I don't know. There's no hospital. Is there water? I know. Is there water? I don't know. And so who knows? I may end up in Colorado, but I thought that was like ironic that we talked about it. So anyway, here we are thinking about what we're going to do with our lives. So, okay, good. Well, mark your calendars, folks. I want to talk about a couple of upcoming events. Generations Fair, the Generation Senior Fair is coming up on the 21st of this month. I think that's like not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, and it's going to be at Windward Mall. I'll be there. Come say hi. And of course, this is our big one, you guys. Our Hawaii Caregivers Expo. This will be our 5th annual? I think it's our 5th annual Caregivers Expo, and we're going to be doing this at Windward Mall as well. It's, of course, next month on March 22nd. So all of your great resources will be there for you to talk to. There's going to be a lot of great presentations. Annette, who you all know, Annette Cam, she'll be on the show actually next week. She'll be giving a wonderful presentation about her book, Wait, Don't Die Yet, which is pretty awesome. And it's all about preparing for that, because we just get caught up in caregiving, and then we don't plan for that eventuality. We're also going to have a fraud and scam presentation, how to avoid that and prepare yourself for that. And of course, I'll be partnering with Care for Kupuna, who are amazing. So Leilani and Trina will be there, and they will be heading up the show. So it'll be really awesome. Really awesome.
I'm jealous I can't go.
Well, you can get on a plane to Hawaii. There you go. I'm coming to Colorado. You're coming to Hawaii. And I can't even tell you how much I wish we could connect that easily, but maybe someday. Yeah, I'd love to have you here. I would love to get an aroma stretch while you're here. So, and then also please remember, I want to talk about our bill that I'm putting out there. Gosh, it's out in the universe right now. And thank you for all the signatures we received thus far. Go on to our website, please sign up, support the bill. You can go on, it's on right there on the screen. Go to gab808.org and be an advocate /be an advocate and sign on the form. We want to get caregivers paid. It's a really big deal. Caregivers are struggling. A lot are losing their job. That statistic has gone from 65 to 70% are losing their jobs because of the weight of caregiving. We need to figure out ways to get them paid now. We'll look for long-term solutions later, but we can get a short-term solution in there now. Please support the bill. And so thank you for that. I want to thank Tony. Tony, so much for being here. What an amazing conversation, sharing your great work. And I want to remind you that this show is brought to you, of course, by Give Me a Break, but it is sponsored by Givers Guides Online Magazine. So go get that subscription and keep it all coming. And gosh, Janet, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
I have enjoyed it. I love having a co-host. It's so much more fun for me. People don't have to listen to me yarn on the whole time. So thanks for that. And again, the Care and Caregiver Show is all about that, right? We're all about connecting you with caregivers, and I get a chance to connect as well, resources, and about your survival, really, as our goal. So next week, let me throw this up there again. Next week, don't forget, we're moving on through season 14, and we have my co-host will be Marilyn Lemaire, and also you guys will get a chance to hear right there from the author. Annette Cam will be on to talk about her book, Wait, Don't Die Yet. It's a really good book. I can't even tell you how many times I tell you guys too, we need to be planning and preparing for that. And the focus this year is really going to be from Give Me a Break all about how to plan. I have a complete checklist for you to start planning for your care receiving, because we maybe have to plan for those that are passing that, we're caring for, and that is an eventuality. But are you taking care of your plan? What's your plan for care receiving? And we're going to be talking about that a lot this year. So that's here. Lots to do, lots to talk about, so much to do. But don't miss our show. Because either way, we're connecting you to those resources. So put a calendar reminder out there every Wednesday at noon. And of course, if you do, that's okay. You can go a week later and watch the show on any, or hear it on any podcast, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, we're all there. And you can even scroll back on whatever you're watching right now, if you are on Facebook or even on, what are we on? LinkedIn. We're on so many different platforms, and just go back and you can rewatch the show anytime. And if you can't figure out what to do, just go on to the Care and Caregiver Show website, and you can click on right there. It's super easy. All right. So, wow. Yep. And if you need a great coach, Dennett,
I'm here for you.
That's right. She's here for you. They're right there for you. Okay. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. And remember, in the meantime, breathe. Big, deep cleansing breaths. Find that glow. And here's hoping that you're finding more joy in caregiving every week right here on the Care and Caregiver Show. So thanks for tuning in. And please always be kind to yourself, and especially to those who are caring. Aloha, everyone.
Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Danette. Aloha.